Turn the machine on with a quarter turn clockwise. The light will turn on as well as the operating panel. On the operating panel, press the Continue button. Press the Users button to proceed to the login. We typically use two accounts, the Setup profile and the Supervisor profile. Input the username and password, and then press the Approve button. We will walk through the process of loading a recipe. Press the Production button. To select a different recipe, press the Recipe drop-down button, scroll and select the desired recipe. Press the Load button. When the warning symbols are removed, press the Start Batch button. We choose a unique name for the batch ID. We also change the product name depending on what we are using for the BDS. For the case of this tutorial, we will be using water. Press Start Batch. If the batch ID is unique, the warning symbols will be removed from the Production Preparation button. Press the Production Preparation button. We will walk through inserting the dosing hose. Press the Activate button on the operating panel. We check to see if the pump grooves are aligned. Swivel the lid to open. In this case, the grooves are aligned. This is the vertical groove in the pump wall, and this is the vertical groove of the roof. We will feed the dosing hose through the needle clamp here. Ensure that the rim of the dosing needle is flush to the clamp and tighten the screw. Once the dosing hose is in the needle clamp, we will feed it through the two dosing hose brackets. With the remaining dosing hose, we will estimate how much dosing hose is required to fit around the circumference of the pump once. To provide a different angle, we need to take around this much dosing hose to be used as slack. From that marked measurement, use the end furthest away from the dosing needle and insert into the left groove. This is the left groove. We insert the dosing hose through both vertical grooves. We close the lid and swivel the locking lever shut. With your left hand, hold the dosing hose between the pump and the first hose bracket. With your right hand, hold the side button. The hose will be drawn into the pump, and release the side button when there is no more tension. Open the pump lid, and using the dosing hose that was in the vertical grooves, press fit into the right groove. Close the pump lid, swivel the locking lever shut, and feed the remaining dosing hose through the following bracket. Once the dosing hose has been successfully inserted, deactivate the Insert Hose function. We begin dosing hose preparation. Press the play button, and the play button will turn blue when the function is activated. Place the free end of the dosing hose into the bulk drug substance container. Place your hands over the side sensors by placing your index and middle finger of each hand over the corresponding sensor. When the side sensors have been successfully activated, the bulk drug substance will be drawn up through the dosing hose tube by the pump. Snap the syringe into the syringe holder. Ensure that the rim is flush. Dosing hose preparation is complete when there is liquid all the way through the dosing needle and syringe, and there are no more bubbles in the dosing hose. Press the play button to deactivate the function. Press the Advanced Fill Production button. To begin dosing optimization, press the play button to activate the function. To engage the machine in dose optimization, we place our hands over the side sensors again. The play button will turn green. We hold our hands over the side sensors until the play button turns gray. Dose optimization requires you to hold hands over side sensors longer than most filling operations. In this case, the net weight exceeded the tolerance range. A warning appeared that we must clear. To clear the alarm, press the Alarms button in the top left corner. Select the alarm in question and press the Acknowledge button. Press the back button to return to the prior screen. Place hands over side sensors to continue dosing optimization. This action may need to be continued until the dose optimization words to the left of the play button read production. Once the words next to the play button read production instead of dose optimization, we may proceed to fill production. To fill, we perform the same action of placing our hands over the side sensors and holding them there until the green play button turns gray. Fill as many syringes as needed by continuing to place hands over the side sensor and swapping out the syringe as necessary. We will go through the end batch procedure. When you are done filling, make sure the production button is not lit up green. Press the end batch button and you will be taken to the second end batch screen. Press end batch again. When the warning clears, press the standby button. This will take you to the production menu. We proceed through the purging procedure. In order to purge, we unscrew the dosing needle from the needle clamp, and we remove it from the first two dosing hose brackets. We place the needle inside the BDS container as follows. We will remove the short end of the dosing hose so that way no more water can be drawn through. Press the production button. Select an arbitrary recipe and load. Press the Start Batch button. We change the batch ID to empty X, where X is a unique trial number distinguishing purges from true batches. This will help in the batch report. This batch has already been used before, so we change the 8 to a new number. Press Start Batch, and if the batch is valid, press the Production Preparation button to continue. Press the Advanced Fill Production button. Select the Running Empty function. Press the Play button in order to activate. Place hands over the side sensors to activate. The net weight outside tolerance range alarm will appear. This is because the scale automatically zeroes and senses that this is not within the target range. Go to Alarms, select the alarm, press the Acknowledge button, then press the back button to return to the prior screen. Since running empty can no longer be selected, end the batch and proceed through the end batch sequence. If there is still more BDS in the dosing hose, we proceed through the sequence again. Create another running empty batch with a new unique name. This sequence may need to occur 2 to 4 times in order to remain all the BDS from the dosing hose tube. As you can see, the net weight outside tolerance range was triggered again. We are close to emptying the dosing hobe, but there is still some BDS. I will run this process one more time. Next, I will demonstrate how to remove the dosing hose. Press the production button, and in order to access this menu, we must unfortunately create another batch. Continue to name this batch in the empty sequence. We only need to proceed to the production preparation stage. Select the Remove Hose button in order to activate. Swivel the locking lever and open the pump lid. We notice that the grooves are no longer aligned. What we will need to do is hold the side button down. Hold down the side button, and when it turns green again, the groove should be aligned. As you can see, this is well aligned. We remove the dosing hose from the right side and feed it through the vertical grooves. We place the excess in the hook behind. Close the lid and swivel the locking lid shut. As you can see, this is the reverse of the process before. Hold the dosing tube with left hand and press the button with the right. However, the hose is drawn out of the pump rather than into the pump. Open the locking lid and remove the dosing hose from the left groove. Don't forget to deactivate the Remove Hose function, then proceed through the end batch sequence. To create a recipe, press the changeover menu. Press the Recipe Management button. Press the Users button to log into the super user profile. This is the profile required in order to access these functions. Successful login into the super user profile will occur when the lock symbols are removed from the buttons. Press the Create Report button and name it with a unique recipe name. The recipe will be transferred to the Recipe drop-down menu. Select the new recipe you have created. To edit a new recipe, from the Recipe Management screen, we press the back button and return to the changeover menu. Press the Recipe Values button. This will allow each of the parameters to be changed. Be cautious because there can be multiple screens of parameters you can change. Ensure you press the Save button. To create a batch report, press the Production menu. There are many different submenus to choose from in order to print individual aspects from the batch report. In this case, we will press the Batch button. This is where our naming convention comes in handy. The purged batches are denoted by empty X. We will select the unique batch ID from a true batch. In this case, it is 117. The report will turn blue when selected. Press Batch Report. Included report components are activated with the green button. To exclude one of the components, deactivate the button. Press the Create Report button. When the report has been successfully created, the warning symbols will be removed from the Print and View Report buttons. Press the View Report button. To get a quick overview, press the Pages button in the top left corner. Zoom out to see the entire page. I won't go too into detail, but from the table of contents you can see that the recipe data at batch start, audit trail, alarm analysis, alarm log, production values, and production analysis are available. Press the Print button to print the full report.